I feel like a lot of these trials, if you will, are gonna end pretty much that same way. It's gonna be like, whoop, oh, you're dead? Alright, whoop, come back. By the time Audette eliminates Ro, morning has come. I can't even remember whether I was awake or asleep when we got taken into the dream world, because you just kind of are there once the time comes. It's partially due to the fact that I didn't take the time difference between here and Japan into account, but from now on, I should make sure to remain more alert on Sundays. Once we've gotten ready to leave, we call on room service to bring us up some breakfast.
でよ、結局ロの未練は何だったんだ?
Oh, let's see what it was. I'm excited.
なんだ、まだ予想がついてなかったのか。お前が自分で言ってたんだぞ。
Wait, if he... Well, oh, never mind. I misread her.
は? 俺がか?
I think back to my previous suggestions, albeit without much confidence. Okay, I was right. Like, he said what he thought his regrets were, or maybe he just didn't believe hard enough?
やっぱり愛人関係なのか?
Oh.
まあいいか。それじゃ全く気づいてないみたいだしよ。
Alright. She gulps down the rest of her Americano before continuing. Gotta say, she really likes espresso-based drinks, doesn't she? She gotta keep hyper at all times.
犬だよ。
What?
犬? 犬ってあの犬だよな。
Hold on a second.
ああ。だが、あの愛人が飼ってた犬ってわけじゃねえ。
alright.
あいつは犬と一生を共にしたかったんだ。子犬から育てて、成犬になれば友人になり、最後を見とる。
That was his regret? I could see that as being a regret, but that's not the first thing I would have thought.
ありふれた経験だが、得難い経験でもある。
I mean, I get it. I get it.
犬ごときが未練になるもんかね。
Yeah, being that his biggest regret? What?
なもん、人それぞれだろうに。お前の国でもペットを飼うのは普通だろ。
俺の国ではな。
But still, like, that's your... That shows, like, that... The fact that that was his regret, rather than, like, regretting doing what he was doing, that tells you something. I'm not fond of having to talk about myself, so I try to shift topics.
ところで、なんでそれが分かったんだ?
お前が愛人のところに犬がいるって言っていたのを聞いてピンときたんだ。もしかしてってな。
You thought it might be the case?
んで調べてたら、ローの妻が犬アレルギーだったって判明した。そりゃ飼えないわけだ。
Okay, alright. She spills every last bean on his personal life after that. His parents, who lived in the countryside, had a dog back when he lived with them during his youth. That dog was killed in a traffic accident, though. Oh. His family refused to get another pet after that, since the sudden shock that came from losing it was too much for him. And that led to the birth of Rose's great regret.
今度こそちゃんと死を見とってあげたいってな。
Oh. I know what it's like to be there for your dog in its final moments, you know?
気持ちだけなら分からないでもないな。未練になるほどってのは俺は理解できないけどさ。
Like she said, everyone has different priorities. She scoffs in response, believe it or not, but this brute actually has a soft spot for animals. You know, I can see that. But hell, her ultimate regret might be dog related as well. Not like you can keep a pet when you're always out at sea. Yeah, not happening. Either way, the discussion moves away from Rose shortly after that. Over the course of his life, he kept too busy and was too financially unstable to own a pet. And once he got married and settled down, he discovered that his wife had allergies. Guess we'll never know whether or not he convinced his lover to get a dog because of that. or if he went with her because she already owned one. Hell, she could have just been some lady he hired to look after his secret pet dog. That would have been a twist. Oh, that's the only one with those answers now. Oh well, probably shouldn't concern myself with someone who's been eliminated.
で、ニュースはどうなった？
The goddess said that anyone eliminated during divine selection would have the reversal of their deaths undone, so however they died would be done in the real world at that... Ooh. Not only that, but any events linked to that period of time would also be undone.
俺、自分で見ろ。
Oh shit, man. She flings her smartphone across the table to me in response. I don't even need to browse the web based on her reaction, so I give a casual glance toward the screen before handing it back.
2週間前、中国の有名企業の役員が会議中に脳梗塞で突然死。
That's so...
ぴったりだな。
That's crazy. Like, if you were to die now, your the time of your previous death would have already happened. That's so timey-wimey and crazy, and it's cool at the same time, but also kind of scary.
ところでよ、あの運命の大広間とやらの上はどうなってるんだ？指名の時、上に行ってただろ？
I'm starting to find myself curious about how the election process works. Hopefully, we're not on the receiving end of that at some point.
ちーと説明が面倒だが、まあ、教えておいた方が今後はいいか。
Please, Audette, we're gonna need this, just in case. She doesn't seem to be too sure at first, but she decides to take the time to give me a primer. And a pretty long primer at that, even for someone who talks as much as she does. Oh shit, are we going right now? Oh god, okay. She's going through the whole thing. The circular platforms both Audette and Ro were standing on began to rotate as they were raised above the court of fate. Upon reaching a certain height, they stopped ascending. The layout of the upper area was similar to the lower stratum, but parts of it felt different somehow. The goddess, displaying her usual wry smile, had made her own ascent before either participant could blink.
それでは指名をどうぞ。
So at that point, it's just two people, both of them, and her. After ascending, all the cards in Audette's possession sprung out from her book at once. A strange light surrounded them, masking both their number and contents from everyone's view except Audette's.
なんだ、言えばいいんだな、こいつの情報を。
He's like, I'm so fucking dead.
あなた様のお好きなようにカードを宣言してくださいまし。
No, that doesn't really explain too much. Audette's eyes scanned across the cards in front of her. She currently had 9 cards, including her own. Among them were 3 very specific cards she needed to read aloud. She brushes her fingers against them before speaking. Oh, just the ones that she found, you know. Ooh.
ローチャンホ。
Oh boy.
やめろ、やめてくれ。
Well, that's a tense moment for if you're on the receiving end.
てめえの死因は脳梗塞。
私には家族がいるんだ。私が死んだら家族はどうなる？貴様はその責任を背負えるのか？
What? It's survival. What do you want?
まだ間に合う。指名をやめなさい。金はある。私は株も土地も持っている。
Begging till the end. Classic.
みっともねえな。
The fucking music's so good.
いくら欲しい？いくらでも出す。私の信用情報ならいくらでも引き出せる。一生遊んで暮らせるぞ。どうする？
I don't think she has a problem with that.
こいつの未練は犬だ。
終わりだ。
Annihilated.
私は
Utterly,
おしまいだ。
utterly annihilated.
金だろうが同情だろうが命の対価にならねえよ。何より勝負事で私が妥協するわけないんだよ。
Damn. did not even. Oof. Once Odd had finished, 3 of her cards floated away from her. After reaching the middle of the Court of Fate, they came together and formed a triangular shape. Just blast him with light. He's just gone.
じゃあな、おっさん。
Damn. Who knows whether or not he could hear her last words to him. He simply hung his head in despair, realizing that his fate had been sealed. One by one, Odette's cards began to emit a white light.
散りゆくものに福音あれ。
Can we just say that she's like Parsa or Parka, however you want to call her, is like super sadistic? Like, I feel like there's no real reason for this game. Said light got brighter and brighter until it eventually blanketed the entire area, and then it happened. In the brief moment that Odette's vision was blinded by the light enveloping the area, her consciousness was overtaken by an unfamiliar scene. Her senses were linked to the scene as well. Oh, Space Marines, hello? Why light? It hurts. Ah, what the shit? She witnessed a number of old chubby men. All are wearing expensive suits and sitting in an oddly bright room. Their faces were all twisted into expressions of boredom. Oh, I think I know what's happening. The artificial lighting in the room was almost blinding when it reflected off the documents they had brought along. It was apparent that they were holding some sort of meeting. She could tell it was one of great importance, judging by the tone of their voices. However, she was unable to hear the details of their conversation. Manner of interference prevented her from doing so. And then the unexpected struck. All of a sudden, her vision went blurry. Next, her face slammed down on the table with a thud. She was unable to muster the strength to move her body whatsoever. So you experienced the death that you just... of the person you just eliminated? Oh my god. She collapsed down onto the floor. The unclear voices were now clearly being directed toward her. Eventually, her consciousness had faded as she lost all bodily sensation. A stream of memories followed. All manner of people were talking to her, but it was impossible to make out a single word they were saying. Regardless, the sense of disconnect she felt at that moment made it clear what was going on. Damn, that's crazy. These were Ro's memories. Memories of the moment he died, engraved upon his very soul. As he drew his last breath, Ro's thoughts were of his dog that died when he was young. That's crazy. Also freaky at the same time. By the time the flashback ended, Ro had disappeared from Odette's sight. The card she used to elect him did the same, and the room returned to its usual gloomy atmosphere. One thing she noticed was that the beam of light that shone from above had grown thicker, although she wasn't sure whether or not it was just her imagination.
なるほどな。脱落させた方にも死を体感させるとは、お前の根性は腐ってるみたいだ。
Yeah, that's even more fucked up. Jesus. She ain't even denying. She knows. Parsa opted to respond with nothing beyond a wry smile. In her hand were 3 cards. Odette realized that these were the cards that were in Ro's possession.
5、使命、11、使命、11、死因。あなたはどのカードを選びますか？
The platform on which Odette stood began to move soon after Parsa asked her question.
下へ戻るまでに考えておいてくださいね。
選択肢ねえじゃねえかそれ。
While she had imagined this outcome, the fact that she was so on the money left her visibly annoyed. Following that, both her and Parsa returned to the lower level of the Court of Fate. And that's what happened. Crazy, huh?
なるほどな。
I try to imagine everything she's just explained to me. Basically, you're forced to experience the same death as those you eliminate.
嫌な気分だぜ。バルカってのはあんな顔してひどいやつだ。
Very sadistic.
そうか、なかなかにスリルがあったけどよ。
In response, I make sure to sigh loudly enough for her to hear it. She keeps babbling on without a care in the world, though.
んなことより日本入りするぜ。
Well,
結局行かなきゃいけないから早い方がいいってことだな。俺もそう思っていた。それにあんたが取得したカードの主はどうやら日本人だったな。相当なジジイだったと思うが。
God, that I have a feeling that old guy's got a story, though. He he was in there just. I don't even care anymore.
そういうことだ。よし、食ったら出るぞ。
Oh fuck, we're in Japan too, aren't we? The dream is dead. Oh no, they'll come after us? And then I'll have to kill everyone? Or die. Probably gonna die. It finally feels like the second round's over, now that we've decided our next move. Washing down the last flaky bits of my croissant with some milk, I stand up and get ready to leave. Man, I love milk. Hold on, tangent. I actually found out recently I'm lactose intolerant. I ate some cereal one day and I died. Because apparently lactose intolerant can develop later in your life too. And I was like, this is bullshit. I got super salty. I was like, I love milk. What is this shit? Oh shit, man. Hello? I'm alive. It's okay. It's okay. Shh. You didn't have to be part of. Well, you were part of it. Just you didn't have to do anything. This morning brings memories of another nightmare with it. The second round of divine selection had taken place. By this point, I've already accepted that I am a participant. The fact that I'm alive right now makes it hard to comprehend the reality of my own death, but it's no longer about whether or not I believe it. Rather, the events that have taken place so far are starting to get to me because they feel so detached from my own personal life. Divine selection's grinding along, and 2 people have been eliminated without any influence from me whatsoever. I keep telling myself that they died over 2 weeks ago, but I can't forget the faces I saw in the Court of Fate. That alone is enough to make my heart ache. I don't want to die. We're going to try our hardest to make you not die, Rinka. Even if we had the... Oh god, not having access to my own cards is frustrating too. There's one major reason behind my reluctance regarding all this, and it's the fact that I don't know what my own regret is. I still haven't sorted out things with Maharu, but it's entirely possible that we could both be eliminated while preoccupied with that. As afraid as I am of both the women from last night and the guy from the first round, not to mention everyone else, I'm not about to go down without a fight. You're damn right.
私がやらなくちゃいけないこと。
Oh, alright. I have 3 cards at the moment. If I'm going to do any digging, it needs to start with the people these could belong to. I looked up that Federico Caramonte person after I finished collecting my thoughts. As expected, no useful information. All I learned is that it's a common name in Italy. The other 2 cards provide me with a cause of death for numeral 4 and regret for numeral 9. All I know about them is that they seem to be foreigners. Okay.
調べようがないってこんなの。
See, that's the thing. Like, how are we even supposed to do anything? Like, Audette and Federico can, like, fucking travel the goddamn world without a care in the world. What about us? We're just a high school student. Like, what? After a big sigh, I set about my morning routine. There's always the possibility that the other participants don't know anything about me. Nah. Doesn't mean I can waste my time, though. Oh, they know, they just don't know who you are. My own name card was among those distributed at the beginning, which means it's only a matter of time until someone puts 2 and 2 together. One thing that has me curious is numeral 4's cause of death. Much like me, their card says they died in a fire. From what I recall, numeral 4 is the boy from abroad. Of course, there's no guarantee that he got caught up in the very same situation as me, much like how there's no guarantee that I simply died from the fire itself. In fact, I still don't recall how one broke out on the train in the first place. It was a bomb! There are plenty of possibilities, from a simple accident to an international terrorist attack. That one! But there's no way for me to find out when the act has been undone. In other words, all I've got going for me is my memory.
もうやめやめ。
Rinka's sick of this already. No point in trying to force myself to remember and shit, especially when there's a near zero chance of a hint magically appearing to help me out. I make my way downstairs, have some bread, and then head to school. Just gotta continue on with our daily life, man.
やっとお昼だよ。今日はお弁当？
I was gonna say, Mao, you're probably here, aren't you? Mao and Maharu stroll over to my seat when the bell chimes for lunch. I had planned on going to the cafeteria on my own, but Mao catches me just in time. We probably would have eaten separately if I hadn't, or she hadn't, brain, considering my mind is a little preoccupied. So much for trying to go about life as usual.
私も今から行こうと思ってたとこ。
Yeah, we can all head over to the cafeteria.
僕も今朝はちょっと寝坊してしまってね。お弁当を作れなかったんだ。
Shh. Listen, Maharu, I know a lot of people don't trust you, okay? And frankly, I don't trust you either, but, you know, I'm gonna put all my eggs in your basket, okay? Okay? You're gonna get me out of this alive, alright? You know what? Or hell, if you're not malicious, which you really haven't shown any signs of being malicious so far, maybe we'll even sacrifice our own self to save you. Who knows? Who knows what might happen down the line? Shh. What am I doing?
寝坊。
Everyone's fate is in my hands. Obviously, I won't ask if that was thanks to being in the dream world.
ミハルンが寝坊なんて珍しいね。さて、食堂へレッツゴー。
Let's go! Whee! Hey, this isn't the cafeteria. The university on campus has its own cafeteria, which is open for our use as well. Did I say high school? Listen, middle schoolers aren't allowed to use it, but once you hit high school, it's fair game. Yeah, I knew it. I did say high school. Good. Since it's a little awkward hanging around all the university students, most of us tend to buy our food and then go eat it somewhere else. Yeah, I can imagine. That goes double for us, considering how much we stand out. That being the case, we make our way to the rooftop after getting our food. There's even, like, tables.
貸し切りだ。
That's even tables and benches! Bruh! The rooftop is usually crowded with students on days like this, but fortunately, that doesn't seem to be the case today. Also, I would not be on the roof. Well, I might, like, as long as I'm, like, not near the edge and shit, I'd be fine, but I'm scared of heights, man.
そういえばさ、二人は何を買ったの？
Got food, what to do ya?
僕はハムサンドだよ。シンプルで外れがないし、何より安いからね。
She got a ham sandwich. That's my woman.
それで足りる？
I'm sure not a lot of food takes to fill her up. She's like a stick.
マオこそ焼きそばパンとアンパンだろ。量で言えばそんなに変わらないよ。
I was gonna say, ham sandwich sounds much more filling than that.
いやいや、うちはコーヒー牛乳を買ってるから、カロリーは圧勝だね。
That coffee milk is probably 90% of that. She jams a straw into the carton with a triumphant grin. It's a 16-ounce carton, too. I'd probably struggle to finish it before lunchtime ends.
カロリーで勝負してどうすんの？
Are we on, like, diets now? Like, what are we doing?
太る？
I was gonna say, I hope no one's actually on a diet, because we're all sticks over here. Look.
ダメだろそれ。リータンはもう少し太った方がいいと思うけどね。
Hey, we're perfect the way we are, okay?
胸見ながら言わないでくれる？
Wow! You were looking at our chests, Mao? Listen, we may be A cups, but fuck you, alright?
おお、怖っ。
Much as I am aware of my depressing reality, I'd rather not have her remind me of it. Especially with Maharu sitting right next to me.
それで凛花は何を買ったのかな？
あ、カツサンド。
I have no idea what that is. And I ain't gonna stop the video just to search it.
はい、リータンの優勝。やっぱりカロリー摂取する気あるんだね。
Whatever it is, it's high in calories. Alright. One mystery solved.
競ってないから。
Mao asks for a bite as I unwrap the packaging. Trust her to do so before I can get a bite myself. I flip the sandwich close to her mouth, which prompts her to chop down on it.
あ、カツまでいかなかった。
You snooze, you lose, loser.
一口小さいもんね、マオ。って、ミハルどうしたの？
Oh, the jealousy. The jealousy's kicking in. She's staring at Mao with a blank expression.
いやー、ミハルも欲しいんじゃない？
Oh, let me feed Maharu.
じゃあハムサンドと交換する？マオがかじってない方をあげるから。
That would be fine, thank you.
お構いなく。僕は揚げ物は苦手だからいらないよ。
Oh, come on. You'd bite it. If I was gonna feed you right now, you'd totally bite into it.
すみません。
Mao presents her yakisoba bread as an offering to Miharu after apologizing. Unsurprisingly, Miharu turns it down, which elicits a laugh from her. Honestly, what a silly conversation. At the same time, it serves to remind me that moments like this are a regular part of my daily life.
凛花？
Yes, ma'am. Shh.
どうしたの？
いや、なんでもない。ちょっとぼーっとしちゃってさ。
Listen, you guys are gonna have to forgive me every time because we got a lot of shit on our minds. Same with Miharu, but I don't know, man. Also, like, this is a huge ass city. That said, I go back to eating my lunch. We keep chatting away like usual on the rooftop until just before lunchtime ends. Hello, I'm here now. After the final period of the day, I love how these games just skip school entirely. There's like no scenes with them learning anything. It's like, fuck it, they were at school, alright? I hear someone call out to me as I'm tidying up my desk.
先輩？
I had a feeling.
あ、ナオミ。
Watch out, Naomi. Maharu's got your number. She's after you because you're competition. Turns out to be Naomi. The culture festival isn't far off at this point, so it's about time she starts teaching her classmates how to brew coffee themselves. Hold on, I had like this weird thought. So, okay, so they said that we can't die during this period, right? Okay. But that's not what I was going to talk about. So if we, like, say if a character were to just go on a murderous rampage while they were in Divine Selection. Yes. And then if they were elected and then eliminated, would everything would be undone, right? So it'd be like they never existed. So all the people that they ended up killing would just come back, as well as them dying in the previous point that they were supposed to. That's crazy. Holy shit, this fucking game, man. Anyway, and that's why I don't know why that thought popped into my head, but I was just like thinking about it for a tiny bit. That's why we made a deal to have her come over to Lion House as much as possible this week. She normally waits for me at the gate, so it's kind of surprising to see her come straight to my classroom. She couldn't wait. Now that I think about it, will everything I'm teaching Naomi right now be undone if I get eliminated? It would. Based on what Parsa said, it's all but guaranteed. If that's true, then why am I even bothering? 'Cause we can get out of this alive.
先輩？どうしました？
God, if you keep dwelling on thoughts like that, ooh.
ごめん。なんでもない。
I can't keep acting like this. Mal caught me spacing out earlier today, too.
お待たせ。もう行けるよ。
凛花。
Oh. Miharu stops me as I'm standing up.
あれどうしたの？
羊さんと帰りかい？
You could come with us. Jesus.
今日もうちでコーヒー入れる練習するからさ。
Because I know death leads to every answer. No. Do you want to join? Take you got one. No. Do you want to join?
もし暇なら美晴も来る？
Okay, gotta give them props to that. They recorded they recorded separate lines for the answers. Not that there'll be many customers in the first place, and I'm all for us hanging out together. At first she looks happy about the offer, but it quickly shifts to disappointment.
せっかくのお誘いなんだけれど、今日もバイトがあるんだ。
Fuck work! Skip it!
いや、代わりを見つければ間に合うかな。
Yes! Do it! She whips out her phone to check mid-sentence.
いや、バイトなら仕方ないよ。うちに来ても話すだけだし、また今度だね。
Rinka, why? Just let her do the things.
うん。また今度。必ずだ。
Her tone is a bit poignant. Not that I blame her. It's entirely possible one of us could be eliminated during the next round. I doubt it. I leave the classroom after saying goodbye to Miharu. Alright. I'm sure Mao would have tagged along, but it seems like she's busy with whatever the fuck Mao does as well. While on our way to Lion House, Naomi blurts something out that I don't expect.
三島先輩に申し訳ないことしちゃったかな。
Apologize?
美晴に？
I don't think she did anything wrong. Miharu's just silly sometimes.
はい。三島先輩も凛花先輩と話したかったんじゃないかなと思ったので。私も美晴と話したかったな。でもバイトって言ってたから、ナオミのせいじゃないよ。
I'll do something about her having to not go to work, and then this place gets closed down.
いや、そうじゃなくて。そういえばさ、今日は教室まで来てくれたよね。
Oh, so you see about that? No.
ちょっとでも早く合流できればって思ったんですけど、明日からはやめときます。どうして？
Because Miharu. Naomi struggles to find the words that answer my question. After a number of false starts, she simply tells me, never mind, because I'm shy and can't speak my mind. It's worth noting that she actually seems a bit aggravated. That's a rarity for her. Alright, well, I'll just teach you how to do copy shit, I guess. What the shit? We're still here? Unbeknownst to both Rinka and Naomi. Oh, Jesus. There's a girl secretly watching them from the school gate. Uh-huh. It was Mishima Miharu. Known at Ameka High for her looks and admission via scholarship. To many, she is the embodiment of perfection. However, this perception has made her somewhat difficult to approach for them. Especially now as tears stream down her cheeks for all to see. A scenario likely to become the locus of many rumors if it involves anyone other than Miharu. In fact, it is such an unusual sight that no one will dare mention it at all.
Miharu, まだいたんだ。
Amongst the crowd of students pretending they haven't seen anything, Oguma Mao is the only one to address her. Her attitude remains consistent, even in the presence of her friend crying without uttering a word. I was like, why is she acting so nonchalant about this? Miharu's focus never shifts despite Mao's presence. As such, Mao follows her line of sight, only to give a sage nod after seeing the two figures it led to.
なるほどね。
Oh, Miharu.
ねえ、マ
Oh, now you see the tears.
なーに？
オ、もし死ぬとしたら、僕はインカに愛されて死にたい。
Let me love you. We can love you. Her voice quivers as she says this to Mao. Her words lack even the slightest hint of exaggeration. Mao is well aware that she has simply let her true feelings slip out. Miharu's words fail to faze her. She responds as she always does.
じゃ、まだ死ねないよね。
Well, can't do that. She opts not to wait for Miharu's reply and walks off. And not because she doesn't care, she understands that Miharu sees no merit in sitting down to hash things out, or go and sing karaoke to shout those inner feelings out loud. Instead, she leaves Miharu to digest those simple words. Miharu doesn't think of Mao as being cold for doing it either. In fact, she feels absolutely nothing at all about her. The only thing in her heart is Rinka, who gradually sinks into the horizon. Hey, I invited you to come along, alright? I got shit to do with Naomi. If you don't want to fucking come, well, that's your problem.
お邪魔します。
She could have come. Yes, we wouldn't have been alone like she wants, but it'd be fine.
私と来てるんだから誰もいないよ。
Fucking dirt. I thought she was just saying hello to me for some reason. Naomi drops her things off the counter before donning the apron she's brought from home. I fill in the regulars about the cultural festival and tell them not to worry about Naomi's presence. In exchange for my teaching her, she's offered to help out with dishwashing, awesome, and other simple tasks for around an hour or so. I've told her not to bother, but she still insists on it. It's kind of gotten to the point where it'd feel rude to keep turning her down, so we've decided on a time for her to help me out. Here's how things typically go when Naomi's around. Alright, here we go. We open up at 4 p.m. on weekdays, and the hour or so after that, it's either completely dead or we have very few customers inside. Then, that's when we either brew some coffee together or she reads up on different types of coffee beans. The latter is more of a personal interest than anything else since it won't come in handy for the culture festival. Around 6 p.m., the regulars who are just finishing up work start dropping by, so that's when I have her help out for an hour. So that's the busy time. Afterwards, she kills some time either studying or reading books. Sometimes we chat when we've got the time, too. That's how things went last week, anyway. Oh?
さあ、じゃあ始めようか。
先輩、ちょっといいでしょうか。
Sure, what you got for me? She takes out something out of her bag after I nod. It's a transparent plastic bag. Inside are a number of cookies, made in the shapes of stars and hearts and shit.
かわいい。
その、お礼の気持ちです。昨日は日曜日だったので、うちで焼いてみたんです。
Ooh, don't let Miharu see you giving me these cookies, because I'm feeling a real sort of yandere, weird sort of thing vibe from her. But that's okay with me. I untie the red ribbon after she hands me the bag. A sweet smell wafts through the room as I do so.
もし甘いものが嫌いじゃなかったら、コーヒーを入れた後、一緒に食べてみてもらえませんか？
Hold on, Naomi. My heart belongs to a certain somebody else.
もちろん。ありがとう。
Well,
嬉しいな。
well, god damn it. I tie the bag up to prevent the cookies from getting splashed with water while we're brewing.
リボンはリンカ先輩の好きな赤にしてみました。
Well, aren't you just the most thoughtful person in the world?
なんで知ってるの？
わからないと思ったんですか？うん。
Leaving the cookies somewhere visible, I start the brewing process.
うん。もうバッチリじゃないかな。みんなにも教えられるんじゃない？
Good.
そんな、もう少し練習したいです。初心者向けの方法ですけど、私おっちょこちょいなので。
She can act as humble as she wants, but it's a fact that she's improving. I'm rather impressed by how well she manages it when she's properly focused. I wouldn't be surprised if she shot right ahead of me if it were my grand teaching her.
じゃあ、そろそろクッキー食べようか。ちょっと休憩しよう。
I'm looking forward to the cookies. I love cookies, man. I can eat a whole thing of them. Let me just sit down. Ooh, hold on. Oh shit, fuck. You actually even see the cookies right fucking there. We have no customers right now, so it's the perfect moment to take a break. Can't say for sure that it's a good thing or a bad thing, though. I place the cookies onto a plate and carry them over to our usual seats along with some coffee. After appreciating how great they look, I finally take a bite.
ごくり
Someone hits Naomi's panic button as she waits for my reaction.
美味しい。
Come on, how fucked up could you have made these cookies anyway? They're amazing. I'm not good at making dramatic reactions, so this is the best I can do. That's me. Naomi's eyes shimmer with an excitement that matches her beaming smile.
嬉しいです
There you go, get that smile back. I have a sip of my coffee before taking another bite.
あ、このクッキー。
I'd rather be drinking milk, even though I'm lactose intolerant now.
どうしました？
すごくコーヒーに合うね。なんだろう、まろやかな感じっていうか。
She probably did some like research and figured something out.
実はリンカ先輩の苦めのコーヒーに合うようにバターを多めにしてみたんです。
Well, shit, there you go. She probably looked that up. She lets out another sigh of relief, brushing her hand down her chest.
喜んでもらえてよかった。
It's all no problem.
私のために作ってもらって喜ばないわけないでしょ。もう。
Unless they tasted terrible, then I would have. Not like them. There are a few too many for me to eat alone. Psh, weak. So we end up eating them together. Baking sweets is apparently one of her favorite pastimes. She can bake a whole bunch of things, but cookies seem to be her specialty. It reminds me that my gran used to bake cookies as well. Granted, the taste was completely different from these. These are simple and mellow, much like Naomi, but at the same time, they don't feel as if they were made by someone not used to baking. An idea hits me once we're about halfway through the plate.
私にも作り方教えてもらえないかな。
Ooh. Can I hold on? Can I use these cooking skills, these baking skills, to make these same cookies for Maharu when she comes over at some point? Mother of God. Our customers would probably be thrilled to see more sweets on the menu. Well, that too, but I'm thinking later down the line. Rinka's thinking business. Learning directly from Naomi rather than trying to do so on my own is a much more realistic approach too. And more importantly, I want our regulars to taste just how good these are. However, I can't help but remember divine selection when Naomi stares at me in utter amazement. Even if she does teach me, it'll be all for nothing if I get eliminated. Oh, just stop it. She ain't even gonna remember that she taught you anyway.
ごめん、今の忘れて。
There's no way I can tell her about the possibility of me dying, but I'm awfully close to doing so. Can we do that? Is that against the rules, or is there no rule against that? There's simply a part of me that figures I could lift some of the weight off my shoulders if I told someone about all this.
どうしてですか？
Her overjoyed expression quickly clouds over as she draws her face close to mine. I must look like I'm mulling something over, so I rush to find a way to respond. Don't even.
いつまでもナオミの時間をもらうわけにもいかないしね。ずっとこうしてなんて。
I honestly thought it was about to give me an option to tell her or not.
違いますよね、先輩。
God damn it,
今のは本当じゃない気がします。
she's got me fucking trapped.
そもそも私からお願いしたことなんですから。それにさっきのその
She struggles a bit before continuing.
ごめんなさい。うまく言葉にまとまりませんでした。
うん、大丈夫。
It's fine.
私ずっとこうしてたいです。
Well, wait a minute. If I die, we know Naomi may have lived because she's not in divine selection, but what if she died anyway, but they didn't put her in divine selection? She's just a dead person. So if we were to die, in that case, Naomi would also die. So, or we actually saved her in the fire. From what I understand, that's how the game, at least that's how I perceived it. How that we saved her. So then that wouldn't be the case. Anyway, there's so much theory crafting and shit that I'm loving. Her eyes immediately shoot to the floor, almost as if she's let the words fall out by accident.
ごめんなさい。最近私ちょっと変で。
慣れないことを手伝わせたから疲れさせたかも。今日は帰る？
そうじゃないんです。
I don't know.
そういうことでは。
I don't know how I feel about this right now, boys. She takes a small breath, raises her head back up, and looks me dead in the eyes. Her expression is almost oppressive.
失礼なことかもしれないですけれど、私の悩みを聞いてもらってもいいですか？
I
うん。
was gonna say, sure, I guess.
ここ最近嫌な夢を見るんです。
夢？
Don't tell me.
はい。その夢は最初は普通の夢から始まるんです。夢の中で先輩と私が一緒に電車に乗って帰っている途中で話していて、
Okay, that's not what I thought, but it's the way we died. That's insane.
そしたら急に電車が燃えて火事になって、
And that would mean Naomi, in a way, without knowing, knows my cause of death, which means she... But she's not even part of the game. Whoa, wait a minute.
炎が広がって熱くって苦しくって、でも先輩が私を守ってくれるんです。ただ先輩はそのまま炎に巻き込まれて、
She pauses a number of times while she talks. Her voice gradually gets more and more agitated.
凛花先輩はそのまま死んでしまって。
Shh. It's fine. I'm here. I'm alive. That was our past. Don't worry about it.
いつからか覚えてる？
Oh, it's getting real right now. She shakes her head, which has turned to face the floor again, and then answers.
もうはっきり覚えていないんです。けど最初に見たのはきっと初めてこのお店に来た日だったかもしれません。
So, literally, after it happened, but it didn't happen because reasons.
どうして言ってくれなかったの？あ、いや、怒ってるとかじゃなくて、もしここに来るのが辛いとかなら。
そんなことないです。私先輩と一緒にコーヒーを入れる時間が好きです。先輩と話していれば夢は夢だって割り切れるから。
God, that adds like a whole different layer to this, honestly.
でもたとえ夢の中でだって先輩が死んじゃうところを見るなんて嫌です。そんなこと思うはずがないのに。本当に本当に。
Her voice falters on her final word. I can see the tears welling up in her eyes.
何度も何度もこの夢を見るんです。
That is a form of suffering at its finest.
それって。
That's not a dream. There's no doubt that what she's seeing is the cause of my death. A number of questions pop in my head, but most of all, I'm flat out shocked. I never would have guessed that she's been having a dream like that based on her attitude, especially when my own memory of the event is fuzzy at best.
辛かったね。大丈夫。大丈夫だよ。私はちゃんとここにいるから。
She's definitely questioning why she would be having this dream over and over and over and over and over.
私、先輩ともっといろんなことがしたいです。一緒にクッキー焼いたり、また遊園地に行ったり、他にももっとだから死んじゃったりするわけないですよね。
Listen, I don't plan on dying anytime soon, but I gotta win this game. I can't force myself to nod in response. After all, I'd already been dead if it weren't for some divine selection. What she's dreaming about actually took place. It's just been undone for the time being. It makes me wonder, when Parsa said our deaths had been undone, did she mean that the world's memories of the events themselves had been rewritten? I can't wrap my mind around how such a thing could even be possible. However, the fact of the matter is that Naomi's memory of my death is so deeply ingrained in her being that she's reliving it over and over in her dreams.
返事してください。
ごめん。
Damn.
違います。ごめんなさい。先輩に謝ってほしいわけじゃなくて、でもやっぱりさっきの質問に返事だけしてください。そうすればまた同じ夢を見ても大丈夫な気がするから。
ごめん。私は。
She's like, sorry, but I can't guarantee I'm not gonna die. I desperately hold my back from saying something I'll regret. Yup! I'm far worse at lying than I thought, judging by how I keep apologizing and evade the question. Her head is cast downward, but her eyes are glancing up at me. The tears in her eyes are a lot more obvious than before, and it's my fault that she's crying.
もし悩んでいることがあるなら、私にも話してください。ある日突然いなくなるなんて絶対に嫌です。
She says this with a resolute voice, despite her eyes being filled with tears. Just makes my heart ache all the more, though. She's likely to be haunted by that dream for a long time, assuming I keep the truth from her. And yet, telling her won't change the fact that I'm a participant. What's worse, I may even get her caught up in something dangerous if she decides she wants to try and help me out. I can't say for sure how dangerous this whole situation is, but at the very least, I want to make sure she never comes in contact with those people from the dream world. Most of all, I'd have to reveal the fact that Miharu's also a participant, and that only one of us will make it through the whole thing alive. Keeping her in the dark would mean I don't burden her with my situation.
ナオミにね、聞いてほしいことがあるんだ。
No. No, Rinka, don't do it. Don't do it!
ナオミを余計不安にさせてしまうかも。いや、そもそも信じられないかもしれないけど、聞いてくれるかな。
はい。
She's doing it. She answers without hesitation. Oh, just I'm about to start my explanation. The chime on the door rings.
ごめん。続きは明日でいい？
Whew! Okay, we dodged that for a little time being.
閉店するまで待っていてもいいですか？
うん、それは悪いから。少し気持ちも落ち着けた方がいいしね。大丈夫。明日の放課後、必ず話すよ。
わかりました。
I feel like telling her things is a bad idea. She nods enthusiastically and then helps put the tableware away. She leaves as I get back to work. Meanwhile, I try to focus on my work as much as possible to distract myself from my own uneasiness. I still feel like we should. Ooh.
おはようリンカ。
Shh. Shh. I still feel like we shouldn't tell anyone else about our predicament because that might be real dangerous. Not for us, but for them, as Rinka said. But who knows? Who knows the true rules of this game? Again, is that even up against the game rules? Like, what? God damn it. If we do that and it's against, we're gonna be fucked.